Out of here with another one. Still blocking. We're at 180, 220. The car itself is done. A few spots right there. I did go into metal. I'm surprised I barely broke through into metal. I'll end up hitting that with a little bit of epoxy before I slap some 2K on it. I've not started with 2K. I thought I would have all this covered when I got it flat with the blocks, but as you can see, there's a couple places, but that's what the poly's for. It's just for leveling. I was looking pretty flat with the guide coat, but you guys know how that is. So, got a couple places I'll hit with the epoxy, and continue on with probably 3 coats of 2K. But here's the front end. It's got some guide coat on it. I thought it'd be pretty cool to just show you what I'm doing. There's a couple blocks that I'm using. This is a kind of a flexible, thinner block. It kind of conforms a little bit to different contours. Of course, these cars have plenty of that. This is really good block for the different curves and bends and different stuff. Love it. With a little small flat one for some flat areas. And we got the soft sanding block or sponge or whatever you want to say. There's a couple different ones. This is a motor guard, and I got a free in somewhere anyway. So we're in 180 with the polyester. We've got the guide coat. Throw it down on it. Now, what is guide coat? Guide coat, basically, you can buy guide coat, okay? This is the guide coat I'm using. It's just cheap, whatever. You can actually just use like a flat black, no gloss, none of that crap, just a flat black, something that's gonna dry quick. And all you're doing is fogging that on there. You don't want to go real heavy like that. It'll fog your paper a little bit more, but what the guide coat does is it highlights imperfections. So when you lay this poly down, for instance, it's got a little bit of a texture, so this will be pretty easy to show you what it's going to do for us. But what it will do is when you're going across with a block, it'll show low places, high low places, scratches, etc., any imperfections, and then that's what we're doing here. We're leveling right now. So right here, I just hit this just now, and I was like, yeah, I'll do a video, but look, you can see the texture here. You see that? Looks like orange peel. That's the way that a lot of this primer, this poly stuff goes on, but that goes to show you the imperfections here. So let's go after this real quick, see what happens. And when you sand, you want to let the sandpaper do it. Don't bear down on it too hard, but just rub it across the surface. And when you do that, that's the X pattern. Do a couple this way, then go the other direction. That cleans the paper and makes it cut quicker. Little tip for you. I like to take a cheap paintbrush. I put tape around the metal so I don't scratch anything. Just keep this cleaned off so you can see what you're doing here. Another thing I like to do is keep a brush like this. This is just a welding brush, and just clean your paper off. See this right here? Just clean it off. Nothing crazy. cleared the paper up. It's a new piece of 180 there. Anyway, let's see what we got. As you can see, we still have some texture here because the guide coat is still in the divots and the low places. So obviously, it's showing that. Let's see what else we have. Right here we got a little low here, low here, low here, low here, low here. That makes sense? And a lot of times you'll have that when you throw this poly down. I've already flattened this down with guide coat. This is the second set of phase of primer, second coat of primer I'm blocking down. Of course, I have a lot more material here to block down, but that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. I think that, let's see if I have another, I got another area I came into yesterday. Right here, I haven't done the edges yet, but that's a little low spot that we'll come back to. I haven't broke through primer yet, so I'll see if I can get it. You know what, let's do that now. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, let's see if we can get it. As long as you have enough material, just keep sanding until the guide coat's gone. All right, that's what you do. That's what the primer's for. Let's see. Actually, has that got a, I can't use the flat on that. Let's get the, where's my soft pad at? There we go. Let's just see if we can get that real quick to demonstrate. Remember, let the sandpaper do the work. You always want to stay off the edges. Don't go across the edges. There is a way that I sand the edges to get them flat and straight. I'm not really where I can show you that yet. I may try to. Just keep cross hatching that, rubbing against it. Just rub it lightly. As you can see, we straightened some of that up right there. And yeah, we're not using a flat block. This is flexible, but where this kind of, this is flat here, but this goes up in. It's got a compound curve. You got to do something to conform with it. So let's see if we can get that right there. You want to stay. Let's see if we can get this here. Just real light. Let's see if we can get it with the flat block like that. Barely in the flat place here. Stay flat, remember. Gotta stay flat. Don't be tilting your block or doing anything like that. You'll dig a hole. And if I push hard on this flex block, it'll flex and it might not be that flat. So, but you just push just enough to where it conforms with the rest of the panel. Lightly. Okay. A lot better. All right. Let's see if we can get this right here real quick before I'm done with the video here. Or maybe this here. Let's do it. Ready? And see that? It's disappearing quick. It's what we want. We know this car's pretty flat already. as you can see, we've already leveled this right here out. Now, we've got some areas here. Obviously, we got some lows here. We've already taken all the guide coat off here. We're good. However, to take these lows and bring them up, that's what this material's for. So you can keep going across it with your block and then come back down in here, and eventually you'll get it to where you've leveled it off enough, your guide coat will go away. Long story short. And remember, that's what the material is for. Now remember, I should probably do a decent video. I'm no master, but a video on body fill, primer, bodywork itself. But real quick, on this door, you see the metal here? I went into the metal here, surprisingly to me, to be honest with you. There's some fill, epoxy, primer, the poly. This here is just what I just did here. This is flat. We'll just go ahead and take this off, make us feel better. Focus. Focus. Anyway, there we go. Look how quick that was. Anyway, got your pieces of metal here. When you hit metal, you have to stop, okay? You have to stop. When you hit metal, you can't go any farther. That is the floor, okay? If you keep going and going because you're like, oh, I got fill in it. I don't want a lot of fill because people will think different of me. That's what the fill's for, is leveling. So when you hit this, stop. If you do not, you're going to keep going, and what's going to happen is this will quickly turn into a high spot. This isn't going away like your primer, paint, and fill and all that will when you keep going across it, going like a madman. This here will quickly poke out, and when you spray it and you got that nice finish on there, you'll look down the panel and you'll see that pop out. You're trying to flatten the panel, people. It's not that big deal, okay? You're flattening the panel. This is the floor, can't go farther. So if you're going through here, you still got to keep going because you got some issues through here. You got a low spot right here, your guide coat's showing it. You hit metal, boom, stop. When you hit metal, you're done. What do you got to do? You're going to either have to hit her again with primer because you need more material to flatten it out, or body fill, okay? Or depending on how bad your initial body work was your metal work before you started fill work and primer and all that, you have to go back to square one and take care of that high spot. You might have to beat it in or shrink the metal or something. Obviously that's generally extreme. If you're into this much stages of it already, you're generally going to skim coat it with fill. I'll probably do another video with body fill and what that is for later on. I should have did it this week, but I was just hammering it out. Didn't think about it. But remember, when you hit the metal, you're done. That's the floor. That's the ocean floor. The tide can't go any lower than that without showing the ocean floor, and it's ugly. You want high tide. You want that water up to hide all that. And the water is beautiful, shiny, and smooth. It's covering all that crap. And there's no panel that is generally perfectly flat. So, beating a dead horse here. That's some primer, so we're good, right? This is some fill here. Little fill. This is primer. We're good, right? So let's say we threw the guide coat on it and we were blocking it and it showed low spots. Can we keep going? Well, yeah, we can. Why? Because we still have material. just did something awesome with the light. Anyway, we have material. That's what it's for. Keep going. Keep going. Till you get it flat, till the guide coat disappears, till it's flat, it looks good. It's going to look good with paint. And again, boom, metal. We're done. We are done. This right here, I went over a bunch. We were good to go. Then with this stage of primer, I was going with the flex block over this compound curve here. It was low right here. How I didn't catch it before, I don't know. But that's the way this stuff goes. Yeah, nothing's perfect, but it was a little low. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is either somehow I didn't rub across it correctly with the block and missed it, or when I was doing my primer stages, I threw more primer here and somehow was lighter here, and it built this higher, which made this lower. Is it a possibility? Well, yeah, it is. So I continued on going until I did what? I hit metal. I hit metal here and here. So what's that mean? I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. Unless I want to get out the stud welder, tear all this back down the metal, pull that back out, because there's braces in here. I can't get to it to hammer it up. So we're getting back into welding, and we're getting back down into what you don't want to do. So what did I do? I flooded all this here and then sanded it back down to level using what? Guide coat, till it was perfect, and it is good now. And again, I hit metal here and metal here. Now I didn't hit metal in here and stuff, but I know I'm close because I just did it. So this car's pretty straight, but I guarantee that I'll probably run into a few different other issues that I'll use body fill and stuff for. Here's another one. In this, there was a dent right here that I somehow didn't get. This is a brand new hood. I didn't get that right there on the first stage somehow. Maybe I was rubbing through here with the guide coat. Guide coat came off, but I caught it this way, and I did a wet check, and I could see it right there, and I could feel it. So I had to just skim that right there, block it back down. It didn't take long. The guide coat disappeared, and what I hit metal. So the metal's right there. That's what primer and that's what primer and body fill and all that's for. There we go here. Primer. This is a epoxy primer. Poly. Epoxy primer. Metal. There was a dent here that I fixed. But when I barely had metal poking out, you're done, ladies and gentlemen. You're done. Stop. But the guide coat was gone right at the point I started hitting metal. That means I'm done. It's flat. No imperfections. We're good to go. Right here. I actually put a full quarter in this car, and it welds in right here. Had a little bit of body work here. Had to go back into it, add a little bit here to smooth that out. Metal here, which I knew it was right there close. And I was probably going to hit metal here and here and here, but the guide coat disappeared, so that means there's no imperfections or any scratches or low spots and all that. It was taken care of. So what I do, I stopped because I know I got it, and I barely started hitting metal. That means I'm done. I could dig a little bit more, but you know what happens when you start digging? All you find is crap, or you cause crap to yourself. So okay, I digress on this. It's supposed to be 5 minutes and it's almost 20 minutes, so later. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do something, a bigger video on, I guess bodywork basics or something. I could probably do a lot better put together video for that. Let me know, and I'll probably be spraying 2K on this beast, and we'll be going into 400 stage right before paint, so maybe I'll do a better video. Okay, thanks. See you later. Bye.